Q flag on, quarter. Normally, in so many Final Fantasies, you sell your items, you get half their cost back. Not tonight. You get precious little loot, and you're selling it for only 25% of the sticker price. We are going to be broke.
Oh, I did miss the S quarter flag being on. Yeah, that is pretty nasty. But it looks like these runners are starting off with a hook.
It's not bad. Typically, everyone worries about a hook seed. What if there's a really rude boss at King Queen Evelyn or Rubicante? But we do have an edge. We do immediately have access to another character, free character, don't have to fight anyone for. And with only 6 characters in the pool, there's a decent chance it's just another edge right out the gate.
And personally, I wouldn't complain about having 2 edges. It's a very, very nice start to have overall.
Oh yeah, it's a little annoying because with those sparse chests, it'll be tricky finding enough swords for him. But you can buy even, long swords in shops eventually on this flag set, so they can get reasonably equipped in due time.
Absolutely. We do have some extra objectives, though, with this flag set. Of course, we've got our classic Forge of the Crystal, but then you may have noticed that there are extra bosses that are part of the objective. Those bosses being Dark Elf, specifically in the dragon form, Elements, and Dr. Luge. You may notice a theme with those extra boss objectives being that they're all bosses that transform.
Yeah, the cute title, the cute name that Demarine gave this flag set, she being the one who was in charge of it this week, is Give Me Half the World. So we have half chests, and we have bosses that all transform into another monster. So 2 parts for your bosses, and I guess that also kind of means you frequently get half XP at those spots, unfortunately. So all about cutting things in half. We do have a little bit of, well, we had a 4-way split right out the gate. Blaze going to loot the Village Mist, or as much as he can. Dia going to get the free key item this seed from Edward in the Troya bed. Didn't see what he got though. Val heading on to Dempsey and probably going to head to Antlion Cave. And Chokosura with that edge start going right for Baron Inn.
I can't blame Chokosura going right for Baron Inn with the edge start. It's not too terribly bad to go after.
Yeah. Oh, and my bad. That was the Baron key from Edward in the bed. I'm sure our tracker will get that lit up pretty soon. I saw it. I just didn't process it initially. So yeah. So we have a Baron key. Opens up yet another character and a couple more prospective key item checks.
And we see Ruby is the second boss in Baron Inn. So not a bad fight to have. Might be a little troublesome with Glare coming up.
Yeah, and those Fire 2s countering every single attack aren't kind either, but it's very low magic attack. Surprised that Choco didn't just throw a life pot on Rydia here. Because as long as one character survives, life the other one up and get going. But nope, that is an early reset. That's going to put Choco a little behind compared to our other racers.
Looks like the route divergence has continued ever so slightly with Vavelis going into Antlion Cave, seeing some of those empty chests, but not having too terribly bad of a haul from everything. Finding a crystal ring, which is extremely nice this early on, as well as that Blitz Whip.
Yeah, that'll actually let even level 1 baby Rydia do a little bit of melee damage, help edge out as best she can.
Oh, Wyvern is at the Octomam spot, so nobody's going to have to worry about Wyvern being in a pretty nasty space this seed.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice one to have out of the way. Of course, we do have the whyburn flag on this time, so it won't open with Mega Nuke, but even just those normal nukes coming out, it's nice not to have to worry about.
Yeah, they do a lot of damage, even with Wyvern being in a lesser boss spot. And Kenatsu is our boss in the Antlion location this evening. Pretty easy fight overall.
Oh yeah, another great boss to see early. Kenatsu, of course, has that nasty wave attack that does 1/20th of its current HP to you. Antlion spot only has 1,000, so the worst it's going to do is 40 damage. Yeah, you don't hate to see Kenatsu here at all.
We already see the Legend Sword at the Antlion location, so that is one of the objectives found. for this seed. Many more to go.
Oh yeah. Gonna need to find both the Legend Sword and the Adamant. Turn both those into Kakul, the Smith underground. So, one down. Not a bad start.
But one thing to keep in mind is with all the extra objectives that are in play, the extra objectives do need to be done before the crystal can be forged.
Well, what'll happen is you can go ahead and talk to Kakul and turn them in, and he'll say, I've made the crystal, but I'm keeping it. But at that point, when you complete your final of these optional boss fights that are required, even if you fight it in the moon, the crystal will appear in your inventory. You don't have to backtrack to Kakul.
Today I have learned. We see Dia going into Cave Evelyn, where it's already been pretty well ransacked. Most of the chests in there being empty.
Yeah, and Dia apparently being cautious here, not wanting to accidentally fight that Stillman trap chest, just wanting the character looks like it to peek this boss, which is the Dark Imps. Not a bad one to see, I dare say.
A very, very nice one to see, especially if any of these runners happen to find hourglasses. And we see Ogopogo is up on top of Hobbs with another Rosa.
Yeah, so double white mages available very early this seed. Yeah, Burt Reynolds, I kind of misspoke on that. They are bosses that are required, but until the most recent version, they would not have been unless they blocked a key item. But with the new objective modes now, you can throw in all kinds of extra requirements to make people do before they can get that crystal. Now, you mentioned the hourglass, by the way there, Sonny. But one of the other things with this new beta is that a lot of the item rarities have been retooled a bit. And while we, in version 3, relied heavily on those hourglasses, they're far fewer and further between now. So we may see some more creative strats to get through those Dark Imps.
Dare I say we may see some stop strats?
Stop would be good. I think they're vulnerable to Mini. I know they're vulnerable to Frog, which if we can get Toad, pardon me. If we can get a few more levels on Rydia, that would be a beautiful way of dealing with them. And that Tiara Dia found, that'll help with the accuracy on that spell. Nice big black magic buff for Rydia.
Yes, that Tiara, extremely helpful overall.
And Triple Victoria, J items will still appear in shops. It's just that hourglasses notably are far more gated. And I believe on this flag set, you will only be able to find them in the Kakul shop, if anywhere. And they cost quite a bit more now as well. I think it's 4,000 per hourglass.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. You actually have to work for your hourglasses instead of, oh, hey, here are your hourglasses.
Yeah, it's just a ridiculously powerful item. And, it's fun, though. We were getting to see all these other creative ways. We were seeing people use all kinds of status effects from our mages that we hadn't seen before. The reduced frequency of Bacchus wine makes it so that Porum is suddenly a far more valuable character than before. No harm in stacking up white mages with this flag set especially.
We see Chuxur going into Fabul. Let's see what the boss is going to be here.
Yeah, opting not to bother with pardon me, I was looking at the wrong screen.
Ooh, we have Bahamut. We have a Bahamut sighting in Fabul, so even though it's nice to see Bahamut, not so nice to see him very early on.
Yeah, if we have Star Veils, which are guaranteed in the overworld, it's a completely free fight. But I don't think our racers have found those yet, and even if they did, 3,000 a pop on this flag set, very hard to afford. Luckily, the bull, about 1,800 HP at this spot, Edge tears through that, no problem.
And now to find out what the king has for the runners tonight. Well, we've got Dia taking on the Nope Rope.
Well, just a package, which again, I know I'm constantly harping on the differences between 3.0 and the 4.0 beta. The package is an item that a lot of people would probably ignore unless they were just absolutely desperate for an extra character. But we have 3 bosses to hunt down. Any of them could be at the Kaipo Guards fight as well.
That is very true, and due to the extra objectives added in 4.0, that does make the package a much more valuable key item.
Oh yeah, just depends on what your settings are. And it looks like Chokosura may be going to check it out, landing over here next to the Mist Cave at least.
We've got Moonblaze in Fabul Castle. Dia just left Mount Hobbs, and she is going to go ahead and do Antlion Cave.
I do wonder if either Chokosura or Dia, either of them have forgotten that there is a free item available from the Bedward in Troya, because neither of them's gone to pick up their Baron key yet.
I wonder if they may have, but Chokosura resets out of the package, even though it was Edge, not getting the information as to who the boss might be after the cutscene is said and done.
I mean, it takes a long time to see the boss. You do have to go all the way pretty much to Kaipo. But honestly, I wouldn't mind taking the second Edge just to get extra melee damage online. And Chokosura does recall Eddie has a key item here, so that's good to see.
Netting the Baron key from Eddie. Or should we call him Betty?
Good old Bedward. Val here.
He's not Deadward.
Taking on that Baron in fight, we saw Chokosura take a nasty wipe too. Water Hag in the first spot, no problems here, but let's see how Val can deal with his Ruby fight. Taking stock of his options, finding nothing to dart, choosing to just swing. About 4,000 HP to go through here, but every attack, every base attack, is going to give that Fire 2 counter.
And while Ruby's cape is open, he is weak to ice. While the cape is closed, he will absorb any ice damage that comes at him.
Conveniently enough, though, actually, well, yeah, we won't have fire on Rydia because we do have that alternate Hobbs on, which gave her Indra instead of Fire 1. But if you do hit Ruby with fire, he'll do a party-wide life 1 on your team, which is nice. If Val, for instance, if the Rosa on his team gets wrecked, then you can always revive her by just casting Flame on Ruby. Little niche strat that may come into play this fight.
Moonblaze will finding an Asura summon inside of Silvera that could actually come in handy.
Absolutely. Asura, although Rydia, is not a primary white mage by any means, Asura summon can definitely give her that great utility. Party-wide heals 2/3 of the time, and it goes right through any walls that you may have put up yourself. Pretty handy.
Absolutely. We see Chokosura climbing up Mount Ordeals. A very, very good place, since there are 3 bosses here. One of them potentially being one of the objective bosses.
Yeah, that's another thing, that adding these extra boss fights makes Ordeals a lot more appealing. Normally, people don't like to come up here if they don't have a Cecil or a Tella or sometimes Fusoya, just because all of those, they all get meaningful, character upgrades up here. But if you got all 3 of these bosses you've got to hunt, decent shot, one of them's up here.
Absolutely. With Alice making it through the Rubicant fight, getting an Excalibur for the troubles. No,
We have an edge. Even if we don't find Cecil, we can at least throw it.
exactly. It's not a bad weapon to throw. It does a nice amount of damage. And the Silent Staff got thrown on Iridia on Chokosura's side, which does extra damage against these guards.
Yeah, they do have the mage type flag. And Chokosura also very cleverly casting mute with his Rosa so that all the guard counter spells just fizzle. They did get 1 mini off before Chokosura could silence them, but still very smart, keeping that strategy in mind.
Now we see Moonblaze Wolf inside. The Baron infights soon to take on Ruby as well. Where Val, it looks like, is about to head into the waterway to head towards Baron Castle.
Chogosura has cleaned up these guards, all 3 party members staying alive, getting XP. I love seeing the little miniature sprite for any characters on the world map.
Always a nice thing to see. So let's see how difficult of a time Moonblaze Wolf has against Ruby here. Well, Chogosura heads over to the Mylon Z spot to take on CPU.
Oh, gross.
Multi-ball.
I'm not sure if Chogosura has found any good throwing items. The most annoying thing about this fight is that the CPU is in the back row. So you're going to be doing partial damage to it if you aren't also equipped to hit things from the back row. Chogosura may have found a boomerang or full moon. I don't know. May have some good throwing items. If not, it's just going to take a little longer. No chance of wiping here. Just annoying fight.
As I've heard it called multiple times, a fight of attrition.
Yeah. Because as long as you don't kill both front orbs, the most damage you'll be taking is 10% of your max HP per hit from the attacker. And with Cure 2 on Rosa, she can heal this party up all night long and still have MP to spare.
And they will never have to worry about Globe 199 coming out dealing a massive amount of damage to any of the characters that it hits. Moonblaze Wolf making it through Ruby without any issues. Val making it into Baron Castle. About to take on the King and Queen of Eblin.
Yeah, free fight, of course. If you wait long enough, the 2 of them will just off themselves. If you can knock out the king, then the queen on her next turn will likewise just boop, is gone. But actually opting to do the damage rather than waiting, I'm guessing he wants to make sure that these Rydias get their XP rather than getting knocked out by a wayward fire too. And Chogosura gambling with the multi-target spells here, knocking out the attacker, but gets the CPU dead before any of those globes can come out. Whew, had me worried there, Choco.
Making the gamble, and it paid off.
Val here waiting on the queen to finally take a turn. That's one thing about having your edge in your center spot. He's so fast. The way agility works in this game, gonna make the enemies go pretty slow in response.
Absolutely. Moonblaze Wolf finding Star Veils in the Agart shop. And what is Chogosura going to obtain from the top of Ordeals? It is a Masamune.
Ooh, you don't hate to see that with your edge. You do get a little sad seeing D-Mist here, because, you know, in a lot of our seeds where D-Mist guards a key item, you feel like a real Galaxy Brain play. Here it's just a little bit of disappointment, like, oh, I don't get a bonus from you.
It is unfortunate, but at least that is one other boss out of the pool. And unfortunately, Bob Ellis has found the football gauntlet.
Oh, but it's not the football gauntlet today. It is the Baron gauntlet. We got that alt gauntlet flag on. Instead of the 6 fights that you fight while defending Fabul, it is 5 random fights from the neighborhood. So Val's gonna be chewing through these instead of the what we've grown accustomed to.
Oh, now that just got me thinking. Lunar Gauntlet. Oh no.
Oh yeah. Fight this fight at the Ogopogo altar, the vanilla Masamune location, and enjoy your red dragons and your behemoths and your evil masks.
Lots of EXP, but oh, those are scary fights. But instead, Val is getting to enjoy all the Hydras.
Yep, and Edge is going to tear through all these fights, able to one-shot anything, and even hitting the guards for thousands of damage with that mute knife that's in one of his hands.
And we see Moonblaze Wolf climbing ordeals as well. And Dia has taken her party into Baron Castle as well. Chogosura heading back into Baron.
maybe intending to take another swing at these fights, checking this gated weapon shop, and armor shop, which should have slightly better gear than the rest of the world. So here's my question for you, Sonny. You know, we did get that Masamune, but we didn't find any of our required bosses, and we've not seen any Cecils or Tellas in the seed yet. How do you feel about that Ordeals play? Do you think it's going to end up having been a net benefit or a net time loss for our racers who made it?
I think overall it'll be a net time loss, even though the improved weapon is nice. Underground access is still available, so getting underground as quick as possible would probably be the play right now.
Yeah, the Deneb, theoretically it could end up being, we could encounter a fight where we're really thankful we have that extra ninja sword. We could end up running into Tellas and Cecils. If we find a Cecil to wield that Excalibur that came from the Baron Inn, all of a sudden everyone who did Ordeals is very thankful. But until we reach that point, they're all going to be a little annoyed, I think, with how much time it took.
I do have to agree on that. And for all we know, there could be a Cecil here in the Baron Castle.
Oh yeah, Val's actually, I believe this is fight number 5. Maybe it's just the 4th one, but we should be getting insight into who our final character is. Well, not our final character, just who our next available character is.
And Choksura taking on Ruby again. Dia making it through King and Queen Eblin, ready to take on the Baron Gauntlet herself. While we have Moonblaze Wolf taking on the CPU at Mylon Z, and the character, oh, it's Sid.
Well, we know our 4th character now, and I did see most of our racers pick up an early Earth Hammer, which is a great piece of gear for him. Bonus damage versus machines, Fire Elemental. Yes, Fire Elemental, even though it's called the Earth Hammer. So Sid, I think, is a welcome addition. He's a beefy tank, can wear the heavy armor, and can actually give some much-needed DPS for this team.
And his health growth is extremely good, too.
Oh, yeah.
Choco making it through Ruby the 2nd time around, soon to be rewarded with Excal. While Dia still going through the gauntlet, about to find out what is it in the trash can at Baron. Oh, it's the Darkness Crystal. So that is moon access.
Darkness Crystal nearly always required with this particular flag set. It's very rare to find all those required boss fights and key items strictly within the Earth. Also, Moon plus Giant opens up a world of grind possibilities. Big get there, but Val looks to be doing a little more looting and maybe peeking that Odin fight before flying away.
The more info, the better for this. Because if that Odin spot is not required, then that is definitely one less location to have to worry about.
Absolutely.
Not to mention, early on, it's a fairly nasty location, even depending upon what's there.
Yeah, but it could be one of those bosses that our team can just handle outright. Although we're running low. We know Dark Imps are at Ruby. We know the Baron Guards are on Ordeals. We've already seen the Gauntlet. We've already seen Water Hag. We've already seen King and Queen Eblin. There aren't a lot of bosses down here that could still be free.
The only one I can think of offhand would be the Kaipo Inn fight.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one that this team could definitely handle.
So we will soon find out what is working here down in the bottom of Baron Castle itself.
Yeah. And Valve was attempting to do the MP underflow glitch, but I think he's trying to execute it slightly incorrectly. You do want to have fewer MP than the spell you're trying to cast and one that you can cast. You can't cast Venom out of combat, and did not have enough to do it with the Cure 1 back there. So he needed to do one more Cure and then could have done the underflow.
Calbrena is the boss in this spot, so not a bad boss to find.
It would be a lot better if we had one of those hourglasses we mentioned earlier.
Absolutely. Choksura making it through King and Queen Eblin at the moment. Moonblaze Wolf heading through the waterway towards Baron Castle. Dia equipping her Sid, making sure he's going to be good to rock and roll. And Valvalus taking on Calbrena at Odin.
Very risky fight here. I think that the Slime will take out the other two Branas, and then we're going to be seeing the big doll, or the big doll for those old school members of the Final Fantasy IV speedrun community. I don't think this fight's going to go very well at this point. I think we're about to have some trouble.
I agree with that. And shoutouts to Bic Doll. Because we are about to see it.
Yep, here it comes. And of course, with the DPS this team has, there's also the big risk of not doing enough damage to fully kill it, and it would bring back 6 smaller dolls. There's the reset. You hate to see it.
It's unfortunate, but definitely good for knowledge that that boss is not going to be required.
Well, unless it has a required key item.
I was about to say, let me rephrase.
Yeah.
It's not required yet.
Yeah. And luckily, though, we know that there are many ways to deal with it. Again, those blue dolls do not have the boss bit, so you can stop them if you get an hourglass or even just the normal stop spell. If you get some better multi-target, stronger abilities, like if we get a Leviathan or a Bahamut for these Rydias, all of a sudden that fight becomes trivial. But I think Val is just taking a big old swing at it a second time. I like the courage, but I think we're lacking the tools to pull it off.
I have to agree that the tools to pull off this fight are definitely lacking. Like you had said, a Bahamut summon or a Leviathan summon would be absolutely vital here, just to get rid of the dolls very quickly. Because the massive damage output from Big Wave or even Mega Nuke just would obliterate these dolls in no time.
Yeah. And I think Dia may have that tiara equipped that we saw in the Eblin Cave, which I think that gives Dia a bit better chance here, just because of having that Indra summon do such good damage. But again, this is just a very, very scary situation. I hope both these racers prove me wrong, get through this fight, see what's in the spot, get all this bonus XP, but I'm scared.
We do see stops coming out from Dia, and oh, that's a punch for 336 straight to that Rydia, taking her down.
Another thing that I think the community is going to have to come to terms with is that, you know, we've been spoiled by those hourglasses. The actual stop spell, it doesn't last that long. Like, even a really high magic attack character, it doesn't last very long at all. But Dia might be able to get through here. Only 2 dolls to go.
She's only got 1 doll left, and Edge is berserked. She's gonna get through, maybe, possibly.
This is the doll that Rydia cast stop on as well, and Dia pulls it off. GG's to Dia breaking through this fight. You love to see it.
Yes, very, very nice from Dia. There's the adamant. So it is required.
Holy crap, Baron Castle may not have had the bosses, but it had the key items, the Darkness Crystal and the Adamant. Holy cow.
So after seeing that, let me ask you this, Inven. What would you do in this case?
Well, I mean, if I have it, well, for Dia, I mean, Dia's done with the overworld. Dia's all clear to move on down. Just be thinking of how I want to deal with those imps underground. I know the moon's available. I might peek the character first. For me, it would come down entirely to whether or not my Rydias know the Toad spell. If I know the Toad spell, I'm going underground. If I don't, I'll go check that lunar character.
Absolutely. So minus the bosses, Dia is definitely in a great spot.
Oh, Val pulls it off as well.
Gets the adamant as well. Going to be in a fantastic spot. Choksura making it through. both of the Baron Castle fights to get that Darkness Crystal, while Moonblaze Wolf sitting in the Baron Gauntlet, soon to be obtaining that Darkness Crystal as well.
Yeah, really impressed with the play both by Dia and Val here. I would have chickened out. I would have been like, yeah, I'll come back later. But they fought on through, and the great thing too is that having that adamant means that as soon as you get underground, you can go ahead and take care of the forge quest requirement and see what's unlocked in that Kakol shop, which can have ridiculously powerful gear compared to all the other shops.
Absolutely, and that Coco shop could have some very, very valuable stuff.
Oh yeah.
Silk webs are available in Kaipo, so very, very nice find.
Yeah, one of those lovely items, but again, with how strapped we are for cash, it will surprise me if any racer vests heavily in them. Maybe just a couple, but you're not buying like a huge stack like we had used to.
So, Love Alice buying 4 of them. I'd say a pretty good amount.
No Sand Ruby, but still taking a peek, and it is a twin in the bed. Which side was that ponytail on?
I didn't quite catch which side it was on.
I'm going to the clip. Let's instant replay this. I want to know which twin this is.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say Palom, even though I know I've got a 50-50 shot on it.
Sorry, it is Porom. Ponytail on the left side of her head means she is right-handed, and that's how I tell the two apart when they're in the Kaipo bed.
Yep.
So that's a Porom. We already have 2 roses. I don't think anyone's that eager to add a Porom when we already have 2 roses in play.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Although, admittedly, several of these characters haven't been there, but if we have to go through the underground, I mean, if we go through this hook path, we're going to see the second Rosa.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that 5 of our 6 characters for this seed?
Oh, let's count them. We got Edge, Rydia, Rosa, Sid, and Porom. So yeah, only 1 more out there. I'm sure everyone is hoping for a Cecil to swing that Excal. And if not, well, at least you can sell it for the cash.
I'll tell you now, I will love it if that final character is Atella.
I mean, that does reward you for going up ordeals at least.
That is why I will love it.
Yeah, that's putting out in chat. You can also throw the Excalibur with Edge, but oh, it's so much money on such a cash-strapped seed. I don't know which way I'd go with it, to be honest.
Moonblaze Wolf, let the package play out. Gonna start on the stuff for that extra edge, figure out what boss is in Kaipo N. If the Kaipo N boss is required, that is going to be a bit of information that Moonblaze will have that the other runners really won't. Dia is heading underground by the looks of it.
I like this both from Dia and Chokosura. I like the underground play here. Of course, Dia has already taken care of the dolls on top of all this, so Dia is looking fantastic right now. But Blaze may be gaining some very important knowledge, and I'm honestly shocked no one has gone to peek the Moon character. I mean, just saying, it could be Fu.
It could be Fu. There is a chance.
It could be Cecil to use that Excal. Lots of good options up there, and there's the Hummingway shop. Maybe has those hourglasses we've been talking about. I'm gonna go check the revamped item tiers and check to see if they're even possible there on this flag set.
Absolutely. We've got Vavalis fighting off that CPU, dropping it down to just the main orb itself, throwing out some damage for 1,365, taking it down. Chokesura running through Eblin Cave. Dia making her climb up and then down Babel, probably heading back to save, and Moonblaze Wolf finding Leviathan in the Kaipo Inn.
Not required, but getting an extra edge, not a bad thing. And under the standard shop randomization, those tier 5 items like hourglasses can appear in gated shops. So they could be available on the moon or in any of the underground shops if our racers are lucky.
Chooksura did find a boomerang or a full moon. I do believe that was a full moon.
Yeah, very nice. That means Choco's edge can be back row glitched. One of the flaws in the programming of Final Fantasy IV is once you have the back row bit, you can't lose it. So this edge can just camp in the back row, take reduced damage, and hit things far, far away, no matter what he's equipped with.
Shoutouts to FF4's programming.
I mean, a lot of the stuff yeah, there's some wild stuff you can do with this game, but I like that even a lot of these little things people didn't even really find out till just the last couple years with Free Enterprise.
Absolutely, and that actually has helped with the speedrun of the game too, but that's beside the point.
Let's see here. Chokosura finally seeing this other Rosa. Wonder if he'll stack up on white mages. Again, with the increased rarity of J items in 4.0, having extra sources of Berserk can be very nice.
Absolutely, and I do believe Dia went back for coffins, and I'd completely missed it.
That will make these Dark Imps super easy. I'm a little sad we're not going to get to see Froggy strats or Mini strats, but Dia's going to tear through them in a hurry. And maybe even get some bonus XP. Life Glitch is enabled on this flag set.
I mean, she is trying to go fast.
And a third racer has entered Evelyn Cave, Moonblaze Wolf, joining Choco and Dia on this path underground. Val, you gonna be the black sheep of the bunch and fly to the moon? Thinking about it. Oh, landing at Mysidia. Let's go, Val. Give us more info.
We have a moon play coming up. Oh, so Baigen at King and Queen Evelyn. That's rough.
There's the twist of the knife. Yeah. Very, very nasty fight here. The fact that the
damage.
Yeah, and it's not just the high damage, it's that it has 3 body parts, the body and both arms, each hitting for this absurd amount of damage. That, ugh. Did we see a Moonveil anywhere, maybe?
I've not seen a Moonveil come up yet.
Yeah, a Moonveil would almost make this fight free, but right now I'm sure Dia is cursing. This edge does not want to hit the arms at all, just going straight for the body, not calming down this damage. Chokosura is going to be very happy to have his edge back row glitched once he gets to the Baigen fight.
Taking out the Mad Ogres just to get a little bit of extra EXP, while Vavelis has found some cabins. Very, very nice healing items to have.
Ooh, is Dia getting through with this hit? Oh my goodness, a solo Zerked edge finishing the fight. Doesn't need anyone else's help. So, I'm sure that Dia is sweating after that kill. Holy crap, that was so close. Now, this fight should be a little simpler. Just fling coffins, call it a night. And also, we don't have split XP on anyway. Everyone gets full XP anyway.
Vavelis selling off the Excalibur to buy a Sylph Summon, as well as a few Star Veils.
Ooh. I mean, Sylph is a great spell for these Rydias to have. And we've not seen a Cecil. I do think it's funny that Val kind of teased us, not actually making the moon play, just wanted to go to Mysidia for the shops. No one's going to show us the moon yet.
Not yet. Dia, though, using those coffins to take out the Dark Imps in no time. Moonblaze Wolf pulling the Mad Ogres from the trap chest. And Chokosura made it through those Mad Ogres and is now resting at the safe spot. And Dia is going to be our first runner to see enter the underground.
Very, very well played by Dia. Just great skill, great luck. You always want to have both. And Yeah, getting through the Baigan fight and having the presence of mind, because Dia peeked, if I remember correctly, peeked that boss fight earlier and knew, oh, let me grab these coffins, let me make this trivial rather than something I have to suffer through. Very well done.
And peeking the boss at the top of Babel, and it happens to be an antlion.
Yeah, so not one of our required fights. I'll be surprised if any of our racers go there without the tower key, since not exactly, high priority right now. Things that are higher priority, though, having these Rydias means we have early access to the warp spell, and the warp glitch is enabled, so I think we're going to see some early Dwarf Castle dives here before too long.
I do have to agree with that, but first stop is definitely first. The Coco shop to turn in the Legend Sword and that Adamant. So that way the true shop gets opened up and that objective is cleared and out of the way.
Absolutely.
So to answer a question asked by Tower Sheep, what would be Dwarf Castle glitch? So the warp glitch is something that you can use within Dwarf Castle after defeating the Calbrena and Golbez spots to warp back into the crystal room and collect the key item as if you cleared the sealed cave itself. And we see some good equipment at the Coco shop. I saw a crystal bracelet there.
Yeah, crystal ring, life staff, ribbons, and silver apples. Of course, I feel like our racers are just tormenting themselves because of that SQ flag. Just having so little money and all these beautiful things to buy. Oh, it hurts. It hurts.
I feel it in my soul, unfortunately. It does hurt.
Doing a little inventory management here. Not going to get a whole lot of money for those iron arrows, but at least we clean things up a bit. Let's see if Dia validates her seed and gives us a job dwarf check.
Oh, look on Chokasura's screen. Those aren't dark imps, those are dark frogs.
There's the froggy strats that I was hoping to see. Saving, I kind of like it. Chokasura gets to save 15,000 gold pieces instead of buying the coffins. So,
absolutely.
Always good to save money on this leg set. And also, again, just showing that breadth of game knowledge. I may not have hourglasses or coffins, but I can still trivialize these jerks.
And getting life glitches as well.
And boom, Chokasura, second of our featured racers to be through. Blaze is going to be coming in fast and furious, though, using those coffins like Dia did.
Very, very smart plays from Dia and Moonblaze Wolf using those coffins, remembering that they were at the shop that's just connected to that boss fight itself.
Ooh, and Dia finding a rather nasty foe here at the Calbrena spot. This Mom Bomb can be shockingly rude here. Big physical attacks, and then the small bombs from the explosion will also be doing out pretty decent damage. Dia's team is good, and Dia is great, but still, a little rude boss here, as we can see by Rosa taking a tumble from one single punch.
Yeah, they do actually keep the stats of the big doll itself instead of the smaller dolls. So this spot is very, very painful.
But Eddie, Edge in the back row, only taking double-digit damage. Not so bad. Gonna be zerked. Gonna be piling on the damage as well. We'll probably make it through this fight. The main concern is going to be getting down all the small bombs before they start using Explode.
Yeah, that is the only thing that's going to be a huge concern is, will Dia make it through before the bombs start blowing themselves up?
Yeah. I do like the strategy of having Sid on chemist duty, hanging out in the back row with that huge HP pool we mentioned earlier, and just throwing, life potions and cure twos as necessary. But it does feel a little rough having your white mage in the front row.
And we've entered the exploding tomato phase of Bomb Bomb, as I like to call it.
Delicious. Makes me want some marinara.
Count me in on that.
Chokasura checking out the Dwarf Castle weapon shop, and it is also potent. Samurai bows, samurai arrows, some other goodies.
The armor shop having some very nice things in there too. One thing I took note of there was the Dragoon helmet.
Oh yeah, lovely piece of gear. Can be used by Sid, Cecil, or Kane. Cuts the 3 main elemental damages in half. Fantastic thing to be able to buy.
Those gray bombs hitting for quite a bit. 210 to the back road edge.
Yeah. BG Rich pointing out in chat that Edge can use Flood now, which admittedly multi-target magic would be good here, but he's a little angry. He's a little zerked, so gonna have to just cut them down the old-fashioned way. I did like that Chokasura found another long blade in a pot in the east tower of Dwarf Castle. That'll bump his Edge up a little bit more in DPS as well.
Ooh, Vivala's finding a crystal ring right before the King and Queen Evelyn spot, so that'll definitely help with mitigating some damage from Baigen.
Oh, also bonus Bacchus wine in the pots downstairs, and we have one of our required boss fights here at the Golbez spot, the Elements. Of course, if you can do enough damage outright, you don't have to deal with the second half of this boss's HP pool. Let's see if this flame knocks it out. Ooh, close, close. He's just a tiny bit more damage. I think one good punch here, and we will not have to deal with the Kenatsu or Valve portions.
Gonna go ahead and queue up Flood. That should actually take out the Ruby phase's HP enough to where it won't matter, but instead an attack comes out from Sid, pushing into the Kenatsu phase.
This is very, very dangerous at these HP totals. There
is a miss from the Kenatsu phase, but with that physical attack, Sid goes down. It's going to come down to whether or not the Edge can survive, and Edge does survive. So that is one of the objective bosses down for Dia.
Dia keeping us on the edge of our seats, first with that Baigen fight, then with this Elements fight. Oh, gonna give me a heart attack. So finishing off that Baigen fight with like 200, 300 HP on Edge, finishing off this one with sub 200 HP, but she makes it through. Gonna get this key item, gonna be able to warp a glitch to the sealed cave for another key item check. Let's see what all these rewards are for Dia.
We've got Chokasura as well as Moonblaze Wolf both on the Mom Bomb fight. Chokasura taking out Mom Bomb before separating into the 6 bombs. The key item is a spoon. Delicious.
I mean, no Eddie on this seed to equip it, but throw that at a monster that's given you a bad day and not shabby. But wait, there's more.
Hey, more gifts. It's a Sand Ruby.
Given that Dia just ditched a Porum, something tells me she's not going to go back to Kaipo for one.
I doubt she'll want one.
Yeah. Dwarf Castle required 2 key items, gets us closer to that stack of 10, which gives us double XP. Not too shabby. And Miare Noko in chat, pulling out a little curse for our racers. Using the warp glitch means that we bypass the sealed cave boss, but if that boss is the Dark Elf or Dr. Lugay, oh, the pain. Would definitely transform the seed into a true Scala Kitty Classic instead of a mildly rude Scala Kitty Classic.
I'm gonna be having a bad day if that's the case.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for a truly cursed seed.
But Dia is giving us the first look into the land of summoned monsters. So let's see what that rat tail chest has in store for us. That's a tail.
Somebody upgraded that. Ooh, and we already have the hook. That is an adamant armor ripe for the taking. And Bacchus ones and exits for sale in the shop. We did note that Dia did not take Porum, so you're not going to learn exit on Rosa without doing the Zot. I would actually be buying a few of these just to make do until then.
I absolutely agree with that. But instead, buying some Bacchuses, something I honestly cannot disagree with either.
Oh yeah, it's great to have a means for your physical bruisers to Zerk themselves. And with only one white mage, your white mage is probably doing other duty at the same time. So, great pickup. We can't buy stacks of 10 like we used to. They cost way too much, but still great pickup here.
Absolutely.
I like what Dia is doing here, peeking the left boss just to know the identity. It is Plague, and the other one is the Kaipo guards. Both these fights are free if you execute them correctly. But Dia opting to walk out. I mean, yeah, picking up the adamant armor will make these easier, but I would be very tempted to tear into both those bosses.
Yeah, personally, I would actually go ahead and give both of those bosses a shot. Even without the adamant armor, there's still a multitude of strategies that can be used against those bosses just to make them extremely easy.
Yeah, but you do get the adamant armor, you put it on your edge, all of a sudden that plus 15 strength and plus 15 agility just makes his damage even more elevated. I don't hate this this quick detour to go get it. I think both perfectly reasonable strats.
Absolutely.
I wonder if Dia knows about the Kaipo Guard's vulnerability to Frog. Chokosura, of course, already displaying Frog strats with the Dark Imps. So, another great option here. Dia definitely not going to buy more coffins. Probably would have done that before picking up the hovercraft and flying it all the way back here.
Absolutely. Though I do believe she bought 4 coffins.
Oh, so still one more could use on the Chief Guard, just to confuse the rest.
Help mitigate a lot of that damage that would go out from them. Chokesir.
Oh yeah.
Self-summon.
Another. Yeah, oh yeah. Finally. Did he buy that one, or did he just find one?
He ended up buying that one. He was at the shop in Agart.
Ah, gotcha.
I do believe we are about to see Dia head to the moon.
Hey, there we go. So, not doing the Sheila 1 check, not doing either of the Feymarch bosses. So kind of what Dia is relying upon here is that these remaining 2 bosses are not gated. If they are behind the Luca key or behind the Tower key, the Twin Harp, or the Earth Crystal, it's a little problematic. But Dia knows that all she needs is that Dark Elf and that Dr. Luge fight. So going to where there are more bosses that you can check quickly makes perfect sense.
I think it's a very, very strong play to do that. And we have Chokosura heading up to check Sheila 1. So here we go. What does Sheila have? Sheila has the magma key. Thanks, Sheila. That's not necessary.
You know, notably though, if Dia had done that, Dia would be at 10 key items and getting double XP. So,
That
but
is.
Chokosura doesn't have the adamant from the Odin spot. So everyone's just a little shy on key items, and Blaze here is knocking out this fight, which again, anyone who does this fight is really hoping for a key item that unlocks one of those required bosses. Otherwise, this is a bit of a time waste, except for the XP that you gain.
So Dia not giving us the check of the moon, checking Mist Cave and probably Watery Pass to see what the bosses are there. But now she is going to go ahead and use a Lunar Whale to rest, because it does work like a cabin does or an inn does, giving that full heal and restoring status to your party.
Yeah, and Dia did peak both those bosses, so Time for the moon. And Blaze finding the Luca key from that Kaipo guards fight, as if to tease, saying, "Hey, you know how you did that warp trick? Do you wanna go peek the boss? You wanna?"
And Moonblaze Wolf is sitting at 9 of 10 key items. So if Moonblaze were to go to the Odin spot and get that adamant, that would be the 10th key item, giving double EXP.
Yeah, and you know that has to be hanging back in the back of Blaze's mind right now. Blaze has to keep checking these bosses and fighting them because he's missing the adamant. Dia can afford now to just skip out and go straight for boss check, boss check, boss check, because she's already done. She's forged it. She's been to visit K'Kul. So this is actually going to put her into overdrive compared to the competition. Dia's just in great shape at this point.
Chokasura giving us a check into the Tower of Babel. And
I'll note also that Dia doesn't have that Masamune that the other characters have, the other racers have. She's passed up ordeals, which is one reason she got such a great lead. But she's lacking a little bit in damage. This adamant armor will help out a bunch on that front, though.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that's not the boss you're looking for. Unsurprised to see that reset.
I didn't quite see which boss it was, but it's no big deal since it wasn't required.
Yeah, that was Odin at the Bahamut spot, which the Odin attack itself probably wouldn't be too bad, but the Bahamut is tied with the CPU spot for having the highest physical attack in the game. Those first 3 sword swings, ooh, they would be doing work.
They would be doing a ton of damage. Now it's time to see who the moon character is.
The Deneb asking in chat about the adamant armor glitch. Yes, if you remove it, your character gains innate weakness to fire, ice, and lightning. You can remedy that by putting on a protect ring or a piece of dragoon gear to give yourself the resistance again. And it, there's some places where it matters, some fights where it doesn't. If the enemy doesn't use fire, ice, or lightning, no problems there.
As pointed out by accident, it's actually just fire and ice, but even still, those 2 elements, being weak to them, definitely not good.
Well, Miyarinoko, it could be that Dark Elf does hit with both fire and ice, so anyone with that adamant armor unequipped would probably take a little bit of rough damage there. And Exton, thanks for clearing that up. Exton, of course, one of the big dissemblers of Final Fantasy IV, knows all these little nuances that were previously thought to be common knowledge. So if you have any questions about why it works this way, Exton knows.
Moonblaze Wolf turning in that pink tail to get the adamant armor. Chokasura at the top of the tower. Valvalis doing the warp glitch. Gonna be rewarded with that spoon. And here before too long, we will see some moon bosses from Dia. I do believe we are going to see at least one of the 2 remaining required bosses here. Chokasura throwing out Self to keep Antlion from countering from physical attacks. A very, very good strategy to use. But gonna go ahead and berserk that edge to get extra damage to go out.
And just a reminder, we do have a full slot, well, not full. We can have as many racers as you want to have. If anyone wants to race this game, come on over to the Discord. Learn to play, have fun, hop in these community races. Aside from these 4 featured runners, though, we do have 6 others, a total of 10, and no .duns yet. Admittedly, that Legend and Adamant were very friendly. Maybe these last 2 bosses aren't so friendly. I really hope they're gated somewhere nasty.
That makes 2 of us. I would like to see some very, very rudely gated bosses. Moonblaze Wolf heading down to the Odin spot. Gonna be greeted by Calbrena, but also going to be greeted with that adamant. Chooksura still taking on Antlion, using that Sylph Summon, making good use of it. Gonna be a very, very quick and easy fight.
Blaze, by the way, has come back to deal with this Odin spot. Going to be very happy to see his reward here once he gets through. With having that adamant armor, not going to have any problems here, I think, even if the big doll does come into play. I mean, theoretically, you could get locked into big doll, breaks down into small dolls, becomes big doll, but let's just assume that doesn't happen. That would be horrific.
Yeah, I would cry.
Yeah.
Leviathan was at package BG Rich.
Yeah, there we go.
A Titan summon going out, not quite finishing up the two dolls in the back, but both of those should be going down relatively quickly.
Yep. And Chokosura, by the way, getting an Earth Crystal from going the tower without the tower key. If either of these required bosses is up in Zot, Chokosura taking the reins on this race.
A very bold play, but one that we have seen before. The Pan has been found at the plague spot.
I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I guess that is one of the weaker spots, but that's not one of the foes that Dia needed to kill. So getting the Pan, extra bonus, a little bit of XP, and now we'll be getting double XP. That's Dia's real reward from that spot.
Absolutely, and that is definitely going to come into play here on the D Lunar spot, which has the Magus Sisters. So this will yield a lot of experience.
Absolutely. Should get a little over 200,000 here for the team. I really hope that Dia has a Mage Masher, Mute Knife, whatever you want to call it, on this edge. If so, we'll tear these sisters to pieces. If not, still going to be a little grindy here. Yeah, that's not Mage Masher damage. And kind of has to hope that when they do throw the virus, it doesn't land on the adamant armor edge.
Absolutely, because if that virus hits the adamant armor edge, well, it's going to go through the adamant armor because edge will not resist the poison element from virus itself, and it'll also inflict sap, which could actually kill edge.
Yeah, because this is a lot of HP at this fight, and Cindy can revive Sandy and Mindy if they're both down. Yeah, and I know, Rathian, that a lot of our other racers did pick up a Mute Knife. Don't know exactly where, but oh, no, I do know. There's a Mute Knife on the shelf in Rosa's mom's house. Rosa's mom holding the key to getting through all these mage-type foes. Blaze now, by the way, having also done his forging duties, heading to the moon, unlocking that well, going to where the bosses are.
Also at 10 key items, meaning Blaze will be earning double experience, and Vavalis is taking on the Kaipo Inn fight in the Asura spot, if I remember correctly.
Yep, this fight just tempting people. They know it's very easy. Chokosura following suit as well. Chokosura, of course, doesn't have the adamant yet, so he's still hunting that. Val is probably doing this either in the hopes of it gating something important or just a great source of XP. I don't think sirens were for sale anywhere this seed.
I have not noticed sirens for sale anywhere. We are seeing Chokosura cast Toad on all of the enemies. So more Toad strats coming out.
Chokosura knows the power of that froggy magic. You'll love to see it. This, of course, means that they will not be able to retreat either. You can even kill the front 3 soldiers. You'd like to kill the officer first so you can life glitch it for the extra XP, but this fight, in the bag.
Yeah, Vavalis did not cast Toad on any of the enemies. Pardon me. So, unfortunately, much harder fight for Val, but he's making it through no problem.
Yeah. There is that virus landing on Edge, leaving him with just 100 some odd HP, and the sap is on. Cure 3, sorry, you got a wall on him. Gonna have to throw potions if we want to get his HP back up. Whew, this is Dia is gonna give us another only the edge of our seat fight here. After those other ones, you like, oh my goodness, Dia, my third heart attack of the night. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna have to go see a heart specialist after this.
Yeah, this is very, very dicey. And personally, I don't know how much more I can take of these dicey fights.
By the way, super clever on Dia's fight, putting that silent staff on Rosa and taking a swing, doing nearly 2,000 damage. That's one of those mage killer weapons, and it did work.
Oh, but Rosa has been taken down.
And yeah, Ralphian, it is Odin at Bahamut. So another fight where the punches, they hurt.
Oh, we are about to see the spoon thrown. And there it goes.
Taking down the middle sister, not before she gets the revive up on the front one, though.
And now let the charms begin.
Well, luckily, the Mega Sisters had gone on with their script for so long, they had pretty much walled up all of Dia's team. So not that charm, just harmlessly whiffing. Val and Choco both going for the plague fight. Again, lots of ways to deal with this fight. And there could be a twin harp or a tower key behind it. Other than that, though, we're just hunting bosses, y'all.
And there goes another count.
Almost done here.
Chokesura will probably be done with this fight before Valvalis.
Huh, Dia opting... So Dia had this Rydia kept at level 1 for so long that I thought was with the intention of agility anchoring later in the game, but has revived the child, which in the beta now only gets double XP for being 5 levels behind, not triple for being 10 levels behind. So this will still be a hefty bit of XP, especially with the extra sister kill, but only gets that one to, I think, level, what was that, 42 or 47? It was 40, I think 47. Okay, it was 42. Gotcha. So lots of spells, but still a long way to get nuke.
Absolutely, though 533,334, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's a beefy boost to be sure, and a pass on a rat tail, not shabby. If we do have to go back to Earth to hunt this final boss, Dia will be glad to have that pass.
Absolutely.
Running her one and only cabin, by the way. Where are the cabins hiding this seed? No cabins for sale.
The cabins were for sale, though.
Oh, really?
I am trying to recall where they were for sale. I want to say it was Mysidia.
Also, Blaze here, finding Dark Knight Cecil at, I'm guessing that is, it must have been Pale Dim spot. Oh no, Wyvern spot.
That's Wyvern spot.
Blaze went straight to the Wyvern spot. Yeah, this team not quite able to handle 1,000 HP Dark Waves, even if you only have to deal with 3 of them.
That was painful. There is Dark Elf for Dia.
Hey, here in, you know, it's kind of sad that Dia hadn't already done the oh goodness, the Dr. Lugue fight, because if so, you can say, no safety save, I'll go straight for Zeromus from here. Sadly, though, still has one more boss to hunt down. Chokosura making the cheeky play to actually dive down into the Sealed Cave. Gonna see if this is a required boss down here. You love to have to enter Sealed Cave after having looted it.
That is a vanilla boss at Sealed Cave.
This is even randomized. Oh, cute Scala, cute.
That's adorable.
Feel bad for anyone who made that hike. So Chokosura also has this Earth Crystal, another spot with 2 bosses that he can check out. Yeah, no, you gotta say the thing. You gotta say the thing. It'd be one thing if it was just one boss, but for it to be specifically B-Dragon, that boss that Chokosura hiked so far down to, having already looted the sealed cave, I think we get a small little pass for. Just saying.
We're about to get a second pass.
Oh, Val, what are you doing? I mean, I get it. You take the time to do an unnecessary fight. You get that Luca key. You get worried, but this is definitely taking the green square on the roulette wheel.
Absolutely. Going after zero or 00.
Got to the dragon form here. Won't be too much further out.
And unfortunately, I don't think Dia has weak at the ready, so can't really make the Dark Elf fight go very quickly.
The item from Sealed Cave was the spoon. You hate to see this treasury already partially looted. Ninja Sword, not shabby though. Some Artemis arrows, pretty handy. But not nearly the mother load it is when we don't have this 50% flag active.
Absolutely. That was a little disheartening to see half the chest opened. Moonblaze Wolf making it through the Mega Sisters at D Lunar, soon to be rewarded with that rat tail as well as the pass.
Yeah,
a Moonveil.
Getting a whopping Moonveil, which, not shabby. Very nice item, but I don't know.
So a question in chat from the Deneb. I'm sorry. Why are so many chests already looted? That is due to one of the flags in tonight's seed. Half of the chests are already going to be looted.
Yep. One of the new things that we can do with the beta system is you can decide between in increments of 10%, 0 to 100, how many untrapped chests are actually available in the game. So we can have it done all the way down to you can do it all the way down to 0. You can do 10 if you really want starvation mode. 50 honestly feels rude enough as is, but yeah, it's all up to you how you want to distribute them.
So we are about to have our first look at what is lurking here in the Tower of Zod. As Dia heads to Wyvern Spot, which we know is Dark Knight Cecil, I imagine she's going to be able to make it through this without much of a problem, but instead she decides to reset out.
Yeah, she can definitely. Her Sid with a single cure 2 should be able to make it. But at the same time, Dia knows she only needs one single monster. Well, I guess it's technically, 4 monsters in one boss fight. She only needs that Dr. Lugay. That's it. So,
depending upon how long it goes, I mean, it could also be 3.
By the way, you remember those exits I mentioned earlier?
Yes.
Yeah.
They would be coming in handy right now. That is for sure.
Yep. Dia having to walk and warp her way back out of the lunar subterranean. At least she has that pass. The cruelest thing I could see happening at this point would be that Dark Knight Cecil holds a tower key or a twin harp, and that tower key or that twin harp has Dr. Lugay. As long as that doesn't happen, this is great. That's the only way the seed could bite Dia at this point. Dia only bought a stack of 4 Bacchus wines and passed up the exits.
Our final character in the seed is Fusoya.
Oh baby.
That's
yeah, I think Chokosura is gonna take that Fu. I think that Fu is joining the team here.
Nah, who needs Fu? I mean, truth be told, I'm actually kidding, because why wouldn't you take Fu? There are so many reasons to take Fu over to not take him.
Absolutely, and just so many bosses already fought. It's not even a situation where you have an early go mode and you have to decide, oh,
There it is.
do I? Are you kidding me? Holy
Dr.
crap.
Luge and Bolnab are the second boss of Zot.
Tell me again where that Earth Crystal was, Sonny. Holy crap.
I am attempting to remember myself. I believe that the Earth Crystal was at the top of Babil.
Exactly. So Choco doing that single dip up the Tower of Babel, getting handsomely rewarded with that Earth Crystal. Admittedly has run around on a few unnecessary things, but finds that last remaining boss. We are now in no mode here in the booth. We know that the remaining thing for Chokosura is to go fight the dolls at the Odin spot, and then go all the way down to the Ogopogo spot to fight Dark Elf. Dia has a lot left ahead of her.
Absolutely, and Dia is inside of the Giant of Babil, running through it, but unfortunately not going to find Dr. Luge.
Well, one thing that she will find, though, is just an utter ton of XP. Provided it's not any of the bosses that half your XP, we'll be getting, I believe, 200,000 for the element spot and 300,000 from the CPU spot. So at least her levels will be all set after this. Well, if she can get through this lunar boss. That is a sparkle. What do we have at the element spot?
200 and let's see, element spot, if I remember correctly, gives 125,000 normally, so it'd be 250,000.
Oh, 250, gotcha. Ooh, this is rude. This is the D lunars. Not gonna be so hard. I can see Dia hovering over that item part of her menu. Gonna be using star veils, gonna be reflecting their breath attack to turn them into frogs. But element spot has like 110,000 HP all said and done, and this actually lets each one of these have a whole bunch as well. So not going to be difficult for Dia, but it is going to consume a little bit of time.
Making use of the Asura summon as well, just to be able to heal up the party from the damage that's coming out from these D-Lunars.
Yeah, and just checking, each of these D-Lunars has 52,000 HP, so not going to be a problem again once they're both frogs, but it's going to take a minute to get there. Val making the play into the lunar subterrane. Chokosura checking to make sure it's not hidden at any of these other troll spots. This is honestly, Scala. It's not a blatant troll, but it's a subtle one that just twists that knife on everyone. It's the fact that you would optimum play is to single dip the Tower of Babel. Oh my goodness. You love to see it.
It's such a nice subtle troll. I love it.
And we do have lunar frogs here in the Giant of Babel.
My favorite kind of frogs.
Mm-hmm. Chokosura now going to the correct place to get his adamant. Good to see. And then we'll see where he goes. I believe he will be completely done with available spots on the Earth. We'll have to choose Giant or Moon. We know where the answer lies.
Val is heading straight down to Subterranean Basement 7. Probably going to start off with the D-Lunar fight, if I had to guess.
The real question to me is, where is the tower key that's going to finally lead our racers up Babel? My other question is, Sonny, I hope your schedule is clear, because I don't think anyone's finishing this in under 2 hours.
I don't think anybody's finishing this in under 2 hours either.
Chokosura, maybe. Chokosura has the best shot, but I will be shocked at anyone else going to lower Babel. Just again, we came through the hook path. We know the boss up there is not the one we're looking for. That is going to be on the back burner for everybody.
That is true. Our tracker Tower Sheep may be done tracking in under 2 hours.
By the way, huge shout out to the Restream team tonight. Smateby is your restreamer, taking care of making the show go smoothly. Sonny and I are here in the booth doing the comms, and Tower Sheep doing the job that I think is the absolute hardest, keeping track of all these key items, which, given again the seed that Scala gave us tonight, it's going deep.
Yeah, I have to agree with that statement of tracking being the hardest job to do in any of these randomizer restreams. I have to tip my hat off to those that actually do end up tracking, because I've done it myself. It's really hard to do.
Blaze, by the way, wrapping up the fight at the Peldim spot, rewarded with another adamant armor. So, gonna be tearing through foes with these adamant edges. But still, it doesn't matter how fast you go through all these fights if you go to the right spot last.
Dia has torn through one of the D Lunars and is now the second, while Moonblaze Wolf is heading back to Earth.
Blaze did get the pan. So if this gives Blaze the tower key, this may provide him that impetus to actually go where he needs to be going.
That is very true. And we see Val taking on the Magus sisters at D Lunar. Dia making it through the D Lunar spot, or the D Lunars at the element spot, without really any problems, getting a massive amount of levels.
Yeah, I think Dia is going to be in that interesting position where when she does finally find Fu, may not even take him just on principle.
Yeah, I have to agree on that one. Oh, that's you don't like to see this.
Oh yeah, and opting to reset rather than fight through the that's yeah.
No, I can't blame her.
So Dia, you have to keep in mind, does not have the weapons on her edge that a lot of our other racers have. I believe still rocking a middle sword and a dancing dagger. You know, our other racers have found Masamune's. Moonblaze just got a Murasame on top of that. We've seen ninja swords and mute knives, so not exactly having the good DPS, so to speak.
We've also seen long swords as well.
Yep. Now, one thing I will point out, though, is that the CPU spot doesn't have Val's maximum defense. It has 2 evade rolls at, I believe, 90% each. So it's not so bad. Especially with that highly leveled edge and the adamant armor. I think Dia could have punched through there for the XP, but at this point, she's just trying to save the time.
Well, the Sylphs were holding a Bahamut summon.
Power up Iridia's even further.
And Dia gonna go ahead and head towards Ordeals to get that cleared out. Gonna be sad when she is rewarded with an Excalibur and no boss that she needs. Where Blaze is about to head into Sealed Cave. Chokesura, though, on the moon, heading towards the right location.
Chokosura has taken this seed by the horns, going to the right place, which, again, this is the sensible thing to do at this point. Admittedly, you know, I'm not saying I would have full cleared Earth, but that's a strategy a lot of people do. Don't go to the moon until you are forced to. But now at this point, with the choice of, you know, 5 bosses here in the lunar core versus just 2 in the giant, and not just that, the second one in the giant, you have to beat the first one to even get to. I entirely approve of this play, and Chokosura is going to be in great shape here.
Taking that second Rydia to get rid of Sid, I have to agree with that play.
Yeah, because the Sid and Chokosura's team has probably gotten a little too much XP at this point. Oh, gonna go peek Bahamut first, so you can see who the boss is without fighting it. Makes sense. So Sid had probably gained enough XP to where his agility was probably in like the 19 to 20 range, whereas a fresh ready, I believe, has an agility of 4, which again, with how ATB works in this game, keeping around a character with ridiculously low agility can make the rest of your team go much faster than you would expect. Yeah, Mountain is basically a roofless cave. That's what.
Well,
that's some wisdom right there, coming at you from the Deneb.
and I guess the tomb you go into could technically be the Cave of Ordeals.
That's true. It's where the ordeal happens in vanilla, at least.
Absolutely. Dia getting that Mazmune or Mazmune and finding Demist.
Huh,
Where-
Chokosura actually bothering to do this Odin fight. Chokosura, you only need one more boss. Are you hoping for a tower key or a twin heart, perhaps? Peculiar. I would be resetting out of any boss that is not the Dark Elf. And Val, by the way, about to be down to just one more challenge as well. We'll see if how long it takes him to go up Lore Battle. Yeesh.
And now Odin doing Odin things. But Fu also doing Fu things and throwing out nukes and doing damage.
Oh, poor Blaze. But good news for the audience. Blaze turned in that pan, got a twin harp. I think we're going to get to hear some music tonight after all.
Yes. I mean, as you may not be able to tell, I am absolutely elated that we get to music, because this is one of my many favorite things about Free Enterprise.
Chokosura does find that tower key. By the way, Chokosura taking a page from Dia's book here, finishing a fight with with an edge at 147 HP. Everyone's skin of their teeth, these boss fights tonight.
Racers, please. I only have so much heart function I can spare.
And Blaze is the people's champion, even if, you know, he's a little far away from where we know that last boss is, but I'm still excited. And I'm sure our restreamer will get the audio swapped over presently, and we'll be listening to those sweet, sweet harp tunes tonight.
We've got Dia checking the package, and Vavalis has taken down the Dark Elf. So only that one boss remaining.
Yeah, and I would like to reiterate, we're at the hour 27 mark, and not a single finisher yet. So still anybody's game, anybody's race. We know that Chokosura made the decision to full clear Earth before going to the moon. And that set him up to be in great shape here, but it looks like he's coming back to check that tower key. That might not be quite so good. Actually, no, that's going to the giant, not diving into the lunar subterrane. I am surprised. You know what it may be? I just realized, well, no, he has Fu. He has a source of exit. I was thinking if he never found exits, but he's done Zot, and he has Fu. He has all the sources of exit that everyone else wishes they had.
Absolutely. But we are about to have our music coming up from Blaze. And so be ready to throw your guesses out.
Yeah, enjoy the music, and Sonny and I will be back with you after a few of those notes. that poor Asura stood no chance. We'll see if Blaze actually checks the harp and shows off what the exact song is. I know I've heard it before.
Yeah, I couldn't remember, or I couldn't pick out what it was for the life of me. Oh, Blaze does
denies
not.
us.
Blaze, what are you doing? For some reason, I got the biggest feeling of FF7 from it.
I was thinking FF7 as well, but it could be 8. I saw someone in chat said 8. My initial reaction was 7.
Is that the first garden? From
No,
8,
it's not the
maybe?
Balaam Garden theme. I know that one. I mean, can it just be Renoa's theme?
Yeah, I thought it might have been something Tifa related as well.
Oh, okay, if it is Eyes on Me, then...
Yeah, I thought it was either Tifa's theme or one of the really, really calm town themes. But we have Chokosura at the D lunar spot. Gonna take them down, hopefully pretty quick.
I'm over here in my other monitor on YouTube going through piano collections trying to find this. Okay, it is 100% Tifa's theme. Yeah. There's someone playing the piano collections version of it, and it is exactly it. So, Final Fantasy VII, Tifa's theme. We got that cleared up. Woo, okay.
Hey, at least we were both right on the money with FF7.
Yeah. So still no finishers. Chokosura, just Ogopogo spot. I personally like to assume that one of my requirements is always going to be an Ogopogo spot, and if it's my last one, I really like it, because again, I like going right to Zeromus without saving. So I'm a little sad that Choco's not going for it.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one, because going up to Zeromus without saving, I mean, that's something that honestly I've done quite a few times, and it's definitely paid off, but at the same time I've also been bit for it.
Oh yeah.
So it just depends upon how you play it.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do when you know that your team is strong enough but then of course, you inevitably forget something in your equips, and ooh, Dia gonna give us a reprise. You love to see it.
Oh, Dia.
I mean, you love to see it for the audience's sake. You hate to see it for the racer.
Thank you, Dia.
Which, again, reminder that while we're getting these crisscrossing visits from places we've already been, don't forget to give the racers a follow. They're all really great runners of this game. Some other speed runs as well, if you like that sort of thing. And they're out here holding themselves out for your entertainment, so give them your support.
Chokosura making it through one of the two lunar flags. Well, Val is taking on the Mylon fight at Pale Dim.
Yeah, that will reward Val with another adamant armor, so not the worst thing.
And
Blaze
now
here showing us
the music reprise.
Very nice. And Blaze here is showing us the trick to what happens if you only reflect the one breath. Well, you make sure you attack the frog first, the walls will fail, and then the other D-Lunar will help you knock it down. Of course, the annoying thing about having the other one not frog is that it will counter literally every action with a flame, which, yeah, it hurts. Does what, 20% of your max HP damage per use, I believe?
That is correct.
No, it's not the Balaam Garden theme. That is 100% Tifa's theme. I literally pulled it up on YouTube while we were all arguing over it. I mean, hopefully Dia will talk to the harp and we'll get confirmation. But I promise, note for note.
Yeah, I was 99% sure it was one of the characters' themes, either Tifa's or Eris's, or it was one of the town themes that I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to agree with that assessment of it being Tifa's theme.
By the way, Chokosura taking the time to beat this Val up. I'm guessing that he is in it at this point for the XP, just treating this as his grind. I mean, between the Fu and just the enormous XP, we'll not have to do any more fights after this.
It was Tifa's theme from 7.
Hey!
Dia, the hero for all of us.
You know, this just goes to show you how overplayed Aerith's theme and Anxious Heart and some of those other songs are. Tifa needs more love. Listen to Tifa's theme more often, everyone.
Oh, Dia heading up to Zot without the Earth Crystal.
I mean, gonna peek this first fight, I suppose, and hope it's there, but we know where Lugae is.
And Chokosura getting another edge from the Giant of Babel.
Yeah, not gonna take that one. Would have been another Fu, wouldn't have been too shabby, but I can't see Chokosura taking another edge given the levels he has on the rest of his team.
I have to agree with that. But we do see Blaze still taking on the D-Lunars, darting that Excalibur, dealing some nice damage. Val at the Odin fight. Dia climbing Zod, gonna look at that first spot, and
this is really good news for Val. This will give him the tower key, which we know is the first step in the path to get to where we need to be.
Chokosura, I believe, is going to go check the tower key.
Oh, Chokosura so far ahead and yet so far away still. If he checks each boss spot on the moon going top down, it will be literally the last spot in the seed that Chokosura checks. Literally the very last boss spot.
but then he'll have to return to Coco's shop in order to get the crystal and then head back up, or make use of the pass if he got that. I don't think that he has yet.
Oh no, the crystal will appear in his inventory once he beats the Dark Elf at the spot. As long as you talk to Kukul and get that objective complete, you're good.
That was something I was unsure about, so I do appreciate the clarification on.
Yeah.
Hello, Golbez.
Hi, Golbez.
How are you doing today?
Chokosura doesn't have that twin harp yet. Looks like he's gonna take the time to fight the brother. Oh goodness. This is great. So, to sate my curiosity while we wait, I'm going to do my best to pull up everyone I can who's not featured in the restream with a multi-link, just to get chat a little update on where we are.
Oh, Val getting the tower key, and I'm sorry, but the yeehaw just got me.
Yee-ha-ha-ha.
Oh, I don't know why that just caught me by surprise, but it did. Oh, it made me tear up. That was great.
We did have one earlier forfeit, so we have 5 other racers currently in the seed. And I hope they have trackers up. Let's see if any of them even have the Earth Crystal, aside from our featured Chokosura.
So Chokosura making it through Golbez, no problem. I mean, Golbez with adamant armors, crystal rings, push over. We've got Dia taking on Mylon and Gasts. And Val is about to encounter Golbez while climbing the tower as well. And Blaze has gone back into the land of summoned monsters and is going to take on the bosses down here.
Yeah, and it looks like a lot of, not many people have made that tower play, but one exceptionally speedy racer, I believe, has full cleared the seed. It looked like they had every... so maybe we'll finally see one of these Intrepid racers conquer the Scully Kitty Classic before too long. Yeah, Chokosura made that big gamble that could have paid off immensely. Again, the only one of our 4 featured racers to have that Earth Crystal, but he's just refusing to go down into the moon.
But I do believe that now is that time.
I mean, he has no other choices. Chokosura has 4 places he can check. Pale Dim, well, pardon me, 5. Pale Dim, Wyvern, Plague, D-Lunars, and of course the actual solution, the Yogo Pogo spot. I just really hope that he doesn't get the pan, exit out, get the Twin Harp, and do that. Just finish the bosses, Joko. Just finish the bosses. Save the world.
Oh, is Blaze going to take out Plague in time?
Yeah, Blaze. Oh, there we go.
The answer is yes. Oh, man.
For what it's worth, I think his edge could never die there by virtue of the adamant armor and the base level Rydia as the anchor. But the rest of the team, their timers ran out. But I don't think either edge could have died there.
So Dia diving back into the moon.
Oh no, Dia's gonna go back to that Dark Knight's vessel at Wyvern. Oh no.
Oh no.
And still doesn't have a source of exit. Hopefully she has a save outside the moon so she doesn't have to walk all the way back out again. You really hate to see it because Dia was in such great control of this seed early on amongst our 4 featured racers. She avoided the trap of doing ordeals. She got through so many fights first try that other racers had problems with, but it doesn't help you if the one place you're not willing to go is the one place you need to.
Absolutely. And Chokosura going after that Pale Dim spot, taking on Mylon and Mylon's Gasts.
Good news for Blaze, headed up the tower to the right spot. I'm sure that racers who are more inclined to metagame are thinking, we're an hour 43 minutes in and no one's done. What is the spot that no one would have wanted to go to? And I think that may have been what crossed Blaze's mind, and he is now here at the spot no one wanted to go to, and we know he'll get rewarded. But in the meantime, we do have a first place finisher. Simbu has wrapped up in first place with a time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, 30 seconds. Not featured on the restream, but an excellent racer, and pretty much full cleared this baby in that time span. Well played.
Very, very well played from Simbu. And Dia getting rewarded with an Avenger from the Wyvern spot, though we did get to see the beautiful text of "Justice is not the only," pause for effect, right in this world.
Dia, by the way, walking instead of resetting, still no source of exit. I wonder if she's forgotten that tower is still an option. Where could she be going? I'm a little confused, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm a little lost right now. We know that Blaze is on the right path. We also know that Chokosura is on the right path.
Yep. This could actually come down pretty close between the two of them. Blaze has that pass, so after he does Zot, he'll be good to go. Chokosura, though, can fight that fight and go right into the Zeromas battle. So very different routes taken by both these racers, but it could come down to the neck and neck.
Absolutely. So we'll definitely need to keep a close eye on both of them because, pardon me, this is going to be extremely close in the end. And Dia just warping out of the subterrane instead of walking, making good use of Rydia. Val heading back to Fabul.
Yeah. Dia leaving the moon, going to come knock out this Odin fight, which will give her the tower key, which will lead her to the right place, hopefully. So fingers crossed.
We can definitely hope so. And Chokasura taking on the Magus Sisters at the D Lunar spot. With the weaponry that Chokasura has, this fight should be pretty easy. Not to mention, Fu is on Chokasura's side, so definitely some great spells coming out there. And Rydia having Quake is a massive bonus.
Absolutely. The only problem, of course, is that this will give Chokasura the pan, if I recall, or was that at the no, that's at the plague spot. Never mind.
Correct. It's the pass and the rat tail that are here.
Yeah, so as long as Chokasura doesn't immediately go to turn in the rat tail, he's still in great shape. Just stay on the moon, Choco. That's all you got to do. Stay on the moon.
Absolutely. Val is about to give us our third go at the music, heading into Cave Magnus right now. So we will be able to get another nice listen in on that.
Yeah.
And Blaze is about to take on, I honestly cannot remember which boss it is here. I think it's Pale Dim.
Well,
Yes.
It died so quickly last time. I think when Chokasura came through here, he had Artemis arrows on someone, and this thing died so quickly.
Yeah, so I honestly did not get a good look at it. So Pale Dim was the last lunar boss, and Chokasura is making it through the Mega Sisters no problem. Remedy does not get cast by Cindy. So Sandy, Cindy, and Mindy are all down.
Dia receiving the tower key. This should set her on the right path. She may decide to go do just the cannon room, which would be a little harsh. But again, if you just do full tower, you're in business.
Unfortunately, Val does not have white on Rosa just yet, so can't exactly kill off that last Rosa. Chokasura going into the plague spot, gonna get that pin, while Blaze has found Fu and Sid within the Tower of Zot.
Ditching one of his Rydias to take the Fu makes sense. They're not quite at nuke levels yet.
And Fu throwing out nukes at Mylon Z. And there is Luge and Bolnab for Blaze.
Yeah, so Blaze is in no mode, and as long as he doesn't need to grind anymore, is well ahead of Chokasura at this point. Chokasura will likely go to the Dark Elf spot next, but this Luge fight is going to take no time at all for Blaze.
And boop, bye Luge.
And that Mylon Z goes down for Chokasura. Choco, please don't chase the pan. Please don't chase the rat tail. Please just check more bosses. Don't you go into that magic menu. Don't you do it. I do not want to see exits.
And Moonblaze.
No! No, don't.
Chokasura, please.
Oh.
Blaze being the first of our featured runners to get the crystal, and Chokasura, what are you doing? I'm literally about to cry because that one hurt. That one hurt. Oh no.
Well, Blaze. Blaze had landed a different airship, so let's do a minor walk of shame here. But Blaze is rocking 2 adamant armors, 2 well-equipped edges, a foo. Don't even need to worry about getting nuke on, and Iridia for an anchor, Rosa with Cure 4 and Holy. When I ask whose butt are we going to kick tonight, I'm going whose butt are we really gonna kick tonight? And I'm sure Blaze, frustrated with how long this has taken, is eager to do so.
Whose butt is getting wiped off the face of the planet? I'm sorry, Blaze, but a life does not work as the pass.
He's just telling the bouncer to get a life.
I like it.
So yeah, get your Z's out in chat if you're a free Enterprise channel subscriber. I think we need to we gotta hit up our friends at Randomania and get the whose butt FFZ added to the channel, I dare say.
I would have to agree with that motion. All right. It is time for that ever so important question that you have asked as well, Inven. Whose butt are we going to kick tonight?
So although she is the slowest on this team because of how peculiar the ATV actually goes around in the Zeromus fight, that level 1 Iridia, or Trixie in this case, will be throwing the crystal first. And exactly 2 Bacchus 1. That is the amount of Bacchus. Well, no, never mind. There's another stack. Either way, I think we're going to see some angry ninjas going to town very soon here.
They are going to be like, ah!
Ha ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Ha 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 ha!
Literally.
Oh,
I hurt.
it's beautiful. Oh.
Shout outs to Board. Shout outs to Board Face on this one. Thank you for that info, Scala.
Now, one of our favorite parts of Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Randomizer Maximum Sea Dog is that the Zeromus flag, which randomizes the sprite. It's the one boss that doesn't get swapped with others in the randomization, just because its script would not be meaningful to run into it in like Antlion Cave, for instance. So instead of mixing up its location, we mix up its sprite. There are going to be over 400 in here as soon as the beta leaves beta. Lots of variety, more than one for each day of the year. Yeah, huge shout outs to both Wardface and Scala Kitty, she's actually done the majority of the Z sprites in the game at this point. So make sure you send her some props if you love these. Although, like she said, this one was a Boardface original.
Yeah, huge shout outs to Scala on just so many of the sprites. I've lost count of how many sprites she's done, and I know it's a lot. Chokasura giving us more music.
Chokasura is the people's musician. He always goes for Twin Harp if he finds Twin Harp. but we know he's going to be having to reset back to the moon shortly.
I love that question, Invin.
For those of you who are unaware, ever since Untitled Goose Game came out, Scala has been bombarded with people begging for that sprite, and to the point where it's now a little bit of a meme itself.
I mean, we need Honkmas.
I'm personally looking forward to getting a seed with the goose as my Zeroma sprite, and telling and being like, "Hey, Scala, when are you gonna add this sprite to Free Enterprise?" Anyway, Blaze's fight here going extremely smoothly. I believe adamant armor on both these edges, both Berserk doing tons of damage, reflecting holies and nukes with his Rosa and his Fu. It's all over but the shoutin'. This Blitzball star is about to go down. Rocks are falling. That means we're down to the last 12,000 HP. Can't even hit anyone with Meteo.
Fare thee well. Ha ha ha, miss.
There's the flash. Moonblaze's Wolf has come in second place overall with a 155.26. First amongst your featured racers tonight. Get your GGs out in chat, and we'll see if we can get Blaze in here for an interview shortly.
In the meantime, Val is taking on those D-Lunars at spot, while Dia has her Earth Crystal in hand, is heading up towards where Dr. Luge is hiding, and Chokasura, heading back to the moon, only has 2 spots left with bosses, about to put an end to his search for the Dark Elf.
And we are, in the meantime, joined by your second place finisher, first place on Restream, Moonblaze Wolf. Blaze, GG.
Hey, thank you.
First thing I want to ask is, what was going through your head at about the 1 hour 30 minute mark, the 1 hour 40 minute mark, when no one was done yet?
The things that most occurred to me was it was either in the Luge was either in the Giant or Luge was behind Dark Knight Cecil, because that party was not particularly well equipped to deal with Dark Knight Cecil. I suspected people probably had a similar party, whereas most of the other bosses you could pretty much just cut through with Edge being as powerful as he was.
How did you have a similar reaction to all of chat and us with just that Zeroma sprite? I think could not have been more perfect for how that seed went for so many of you.
Oh, absolutely. Like, that was my first reaction to is, oh, this is really fitting, because, I mean, I feel like the seed was laughing at me. And I know we were talking beforehand, some of us in the Discord, about it was a Scala seed with an Edge start. How bad could it be? And then sure enough, it was pretty miserable, so...
And then, as far as this flag set in particular goes, more generally the flag set than the seed, what about this just makes it so onerous for so many runners, do you think? This one that Demarine crafted for us this week.
I mean, the two things, I guess I have a lot of thoughts on the beta at this point, because I played this flag set and some other flag sets. Like, I've been playing a lot of Fiend Percent. It's really difficult to make decisions when your win condition is probably 1 or 2 essentially demist hunts, which I know, oh, the fabled demist hunt, like maybe demist will be at the top of Giant with like the piece of go mode that you need. And now it feels like with these objective seeds with bosses, as soon as you get above a couple bosses, it feels like a good portion of the time it just turns into a monster hunt at the end. So I think that I kind of did some recalibrating of my routing and just kind of my general thought process as I prepared for the race tonight. This specific flag set, the 50% chests plus the reduced sell rate, is also pretty daunting. You definitely have to be willing to sell some early items and things that you might not think you're going to need, and then maybe you'll find out you need them later. But it's really, really difficult to kind of manage your inventory and your purchasing with such limited money available to you. So I would say those are probably the two main things.
Yeah, you hit on one high note there that I personally, just for racing, I much prefer it being by boss location rather than boss hunt. But, you know, to each their own. We're going to see a lot of variety in flag sets with the beta. Sonny, you have any other questions for Blaze tonight?
No, you actually hit the questions that I had. But even still, you played extremely well overall, Blaze. You still net second place, which, with how this flag set was, that's outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, I feel really good about how I played. I felt just like I had to kind of show a lot of patience there, I think, early on, just because, I mean, you can kind of just rush the underground, but with the boss spot checks, again, it really doesn't reward you for necessarily doing that as fast as possible. So I kind of went with a slow buildup. I felt like it went pretty well, made lots of good decisions along the way. That last little bit there was pretty crazy. I hope nobody saw me sell the spoon, by the way. That was pretty bad.
Oh.
I will say I did notice it, but I didn't want to.
You're too kind, thank you.
I figured that may have been a miss, like just overall a miss menu, and you may not have meant to sell the spoon. But at the same time, you could have meant to sell it because, like you had said, you were strapped for gold.
Yeah, I wasn't that galaxy brain tonight, but it was definitely a miss menu. And it was just funny because I was like, oh, I really want Edge to be able to throw this at some of like these bosses that I don't really need to. Like, I figured I'd be peeking into a lot of boss spots and then resetting as the seed went on. So I was like, oh, sweet, spoon's going to be perfect for that. And then I accidentally sold it, and if I had reset, I would have had to reset to before Dwarf Castle. So I was just like, oh crap, oh well, I guess we'll just have to deal with that.
Well, you know, the longer these seeds go, the more opportunity it is to make those, you know, tiny little errors that, you know, they don't cost you a lot, but they're more personal annoyances. So main thing I think is don't let it get you down. You're still an amazing player of the game, and you wrapped up the seed beautifully. So who needs a spoon anyway? Right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I was totally laughing about it, but I just thought it was funny, and I was curious if anybody caught it or not. So you got to give me grief if you did. So, but yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks Mate for restreaming tonight, and thanks Inven and Sonny for doing the comms. And I'm looking forward to watching the VOD later. Thanks everybody.
Hey, sounds good. GG's again, and we'll catch you racing next week, I'm sure. Have a good night.
Thanks.
In the meantime, we do have a third place finisher. Flurry 14 is wrapped up with a 2:01.23, and Dia is in the Zeromus fight, and Chokosura, I believe, just hit go mode.
Chokosura did just hit go mode, and off of Edge and putting it onto Rydia and heading straight down to Zeromus.
Here we go.
We have a race on our hands.
Yeah, Simu pointing out in chat, did the Calbrana before going underground. Half of our featured racers did that as well. Both Val and Dia knocked out those Calbrana before heading down. Chokosura and Blaze did it a little bit later. Yeah, I never saw Thunderclaws for sale. We did see Earth Hammers for sale in a shop, I think. I may have been wrong on that front, but I thought I spotted one.
There was an Earth Hammer picked up from a chest early on.
Gotcha.
And Thunderclaw as well was picked up from a chest early on, if I do recall correctly. It may have been closer to mid-game.
I'm a little sad we didn't get to see some of those more unique grinds, but you know, any port in a storm, if you have to just beat up every boss to get your XP, sure, why not?
In the meantime, we have had a fourth place finisher, Baka Shinobi, finishing with a time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 51 seconds.
And right behind him, on fifth place finisher, Poydrak, with a 2:04.17. Thank for hitting that wall where everyone's 100%ed the seed, pretty much.
I do believe so. Nukes coming out from Rydia, as well as Fire 3 from the other Rydia on Dia's side. And Chokosura about to get this fight underway. Where Val just got the Earth Crystal and is about to head up towards the Tower of Zot and be rewarded with that crystal after taking down Dr. Lugay.
I do like having neck and neck fights here. Although Dia well ahead, we did just see those rocks fall. There shouldn't be too many more hits. I think this one gets it. Oh,
This one will. Oh no! Next one.
there we go.
This one's it.
Yeah, so Dia has finished in 6th place overall with a 2:05.07. GG's to her as well. Let's see if she is ready to interview.
We've got Chokosura bouncing nukes at miss.
And we are joined by Dia. GG's on your finish. Ooh, what a seed. First thing, well, are you with us, Dia? Showing a mute.
I am here.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, there we are.
So you gave us so many, like, 300 HP or less boss fights that seed. What was going through your head as you had clutch win after clutch win at all those bosses?
Honestly, none of them felt like I was ever in much real danger. Because just the way speed was working out, I felt in control of the fight pretty much the entire time. And then Magus Sisters was probably like the closest one to where I was losing. And then just throw the spoon, win the fight.
You had me worried quite a bit. What do you think of this particular flag set that Demarine made for all of us? It seems to be quite a... I mean, Scala may have rolled the classic seed, but the flag set itself, how do you feel about it?
I actually really like Sparse. I kind of decided to do a lot less shopping, especially with the 1/4 price on. Like once I realized, I was like, oh, you don't buy anything in this seed. Because everything's just way too expensive.
So Chokosura just got that final hit on Zeromus, finishing up in 7th place with a time of 2 hours, 6 minutes, 47 seconds. Get your GGs out for Chokosura.
GG's Chokosura. And then just the sea itself, I'm just very upset that when I went down to Pure Earth, I forgot that I never did top a tower.
Yeah, because you were rocking it. If you go back and watch the VOD, you were in the lead pretty much the entire way with those great boss fights. The fact that you didn't fall prey to ordeals early on like a lot of other racers did. You got that Calbrina fight first try. You were in great shape wire to wire. It was just that one rude hidden boss that kind of stymied you. But amazing performance otherwise. Just very well done.
Thank you. And, yeah, I did the check after coming down through the hook route, and I think once I did that, I just hit it out of my mind and just did not think to go back to it ever. It's like, then I saw Tucker's like, oh no.
Yeah, it will get you. Sonny, do you have any other questions or clarifications?
Did you have a great laugh from the Zeromus sprite? Because I know the rest of us definitely did.
Yes, I love that sprite. It's always so good when it shows up.
Final Fantasy X, always giving us good stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right, thanks to you all for putting the restream together. Once again, just a really good time always coming here and doing these community races.
Awesome. Well, GG's again, and I'm sure we'll catch you racing next week.
Yep, thank you.
Take care. All right. And now we are also joined by Chokosura. Chokosura, why do you hate the moon so much?
I don't know. I mean, something told me to stay on the moon and check those last 2 spots for that dark elf. But what did I do? I go back down to Earth, and I thought I was sure it was behind that twin harp. That's why I went.
I actually figured you heard those harp strings playing in the back of your mind, calling you, luring you away. But like it was just so funny because you seem to want to do literally everything but check the moon bosses.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, this is only my 4th beta seed, so I really don't know how to play this kind of seed shit. I was just, doing whatever.
I know, it was just so funny because you were actually the first of the restreamed racers to get the Dr. Lugay fight out of the way. You were the only one who went up Zod and got that Earth Crystal. You had that early foo compared to everyone else. And then, and we'd already seen Dark Elf from another one of the featured racers. So we knew where you needed to go the entire time. And we were just sitting here like, no, Choco, please.
Yeah.
But it really was a great show, at least. Sonny, you got any questions?
I mean, you hit the question about the moon, because when you warped off of the moon after getting the pan and rat tail, you almost actually had me in tears. I was hurting from seeing you do that.
I was so sure that, okay, by that point, the Dark Elf could be in one of 3 spots, either Ogopogo, Wyvern, or behind Twin Harp. I was thinking, let me try to find the Twin Harp. Maybe it's on Earth somewhere, and maybe he's behind Twin Harp, but obviously not.
Well, you're still the people's champion. You gave us another dose of that Twin Harp music. We know that if you have one, you're going to that Cave Magnus, and everyone loves you for it. It didn't pay off tonight, but still, impressive performance wire to wire as usual.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you for being the hero of music, Choco.
No problem. I didn't even finish doing it. I was so salty by that point. I just reset out of it.
Oh. Well, hey, you'll get them next time. Always an amazing to watch you race, and hopefully this beta will lure you in a little bit more. And don't let this one seed tonight, sour you on it, please.
Nah, it won't. I just need more practice. I mean, like I said, I haven't played many beta seeds, so.
Gotcha. Well, GG's again. Any final thoughts on it, Choco?
No, not really. Just I wish I could have played that better. That last part better. But
I mean, needle in a haystack. In a haystack. Not much to do about it.
True. Rando go to Rando.
Yep. And we do have Valvolus entering his Zeromus fight. So one more to go. You've been with us this entire way, Chad. Let's see one more Zeromus skill tonight.
Let's go, Val.
Meantime, we do have an 8th place finisher. PK4787 has finished with a 2:12:44. So one more to go. Valvolus, let's bring this home.
Val probably laughing at the Zeromus sprite while fighting as well. And I have to agree with Smape Deep. Let's blitz.
Teach us how to blitz.
Well, what kind of blitz do you want? Do you want to be able to just throw lightning out there?
I like Flame Dance myself. Flame Dance is my favorite blitz. All you people with your bum rushes and your aura bolts. Nah, Flame Dance is the cool one.
I mean, I'll just go with the one from this game, Image, because ninjutsu, the original blitzes, Image.
Yeah.
Because who wouldn't want a mirror image of themselves? With 3 white casters bouncing whites off of... Actually, no, a nuke and 2 whites bouncing off of a Star-Veiled Edge.
Yeah, I don't think that Edge is attacking at all. I think Val here is showing us reflex strats, a way to cut the HP of Zeromus in half. You never activate the HP refill, and you only have to deal with about 61,000 HP rather than about 120,000. So Val showing a little bit of tech here to wrap up this race tonight.
Some of my favorite tech in the entire.
Oh yeah, made great use of on the No 64 speed run.
Which, to be completely honest, that is the main. I believe that is the main part of where this tech comes from.
Yep. So it shouldn't be much longer now. These holies, these nukes, should wrap it up pretty quickly. Although, watch out, you don't want to queue one up when there's a black hole that will strip your wall status. And if you already had a holy or a nuke queued up, your poor ninja is going to have a real bad time of it.
But instead, throwing out a Cure 4, getting everybody's health back up. And Fu, unfortunately, is out of MP. Well, very low on MP, not quite out.
Yeah, not enough for another nuke, but Virus will still do some work. And, you know, it even sets up the possibility, always entertaining possibility, of an HP ran out Zeroma's kill.
And that in and of itself is entertaining as can be.
Ooh, big hit, but this Rosa does get the holy off before her HP ticks out. Is that enough to get the kill, though?
That is going to be the question.
Ooh, not quite there yet.
Virus coming out. That is going to go ahead and take down Rosa and Fu. Berserk going out onto Edge.
Ooh, that's surprising. Is Val hoping to get one hit here? If not, that will activate the refill, I'm sure.
Black Hole goes out, stripping that wall status again. But with Rosa being alive still, this fight is very winnable.
Oh yeah, I mean, not going to be the refill skip that Val was hoping to get, but has a stack of Bacchus Wine for Edge, 2400 plus HP on Rosa, plenty of MP left. Rocking any ethers, perhaps? Didn't see any ethers or elixirs, but with these big swings coming from Edge, I think Val's going to knock this out without much issue.
The only thing that might be a little worrisome is damage that comes out from Nuke in Phase 2. Because the Nuke damage roll could end up hitting high.
Also true. Nah, I think Val's got this. I believe. I
do believe that he has it too.
I believe in a thing called Val. Just listen to the spinning of the wind.
Oh yeah, Nuke for 792. Val's got this with ease.
Yeah, Advent Armor. It works. It also helps that Edge has such high agility that he gets those added magic evade rolls that not everyone does get. So really good to see. The Edge is going ham.
Edge is going all in. There's a shake.
I don't think we're even going to see a Big Bang. I think this is...
Rocks are
rocks are falling. There we go.
Rocks missed. Should be one more hit. Nope, now one more hit. No,
hey, it's done.
That was it. The flash was...
Val has the light effects disabled for photosensitive people, and that's why we didn't see the flash, but that does it. GG's to Valveless, wrapping up this race, hanging in there. We're actually joined, Val, GG.
GG.
I want to say, don't blame me for this one. Scala rolled it, Demarine came up with the flags. It's not my fault.
Oh, I enjoyed the flags. I just wish I wouldn't have done the Penguinator Spatial.
Oh, God. Yeah, if any seed punished you for doing that, this is the one. What were you thinking around that hour 30, hour 40 mark when literally no one was done yet?
I didn't know no one was done. I literally closed that sort of stuff so it doesn't distract me because I don't want to metagame. I don't want to get tilted. So for me, it's just better. Don't look. just play my game, and if I win, I win. If I come in last, like I did tonight, I come in last. And you know, I'm happy with how I played, considering I haven't touched free enterprise in over a month.
Yeah, had that nice little break. Been doing a lot of things on Restream with various charity events. You've been knocking it out of the park. Glad to see you racing again, though, and getting into the beta for sure.
Oh yeah. I gotta switch to push to talk. That's annoying.
It is definitely good to see you back racing, Val. That is for sure.
Oh no, I got to try this flag set the other day. It was like, oh, this is actually kind of fun. Annoying in some aspects, but a lot of fun. You know, when you get 4 tellas and have to do a hook route, that's not fun.
Oh,
But,
that sounds great. Who doesn't like that?
But I mean, I still did what 2 something, checked literally every boss spot, checked every key item. I'm not remotely ashamed of how I played. I'm really happy with overall how I did.
Yeah. Again, if it's something as, something as minor as a Penguinator special that throws, you all the wrong boss spots, can't help that. It's a great gamble to make. This seed just didn't cooperate with you, but great played start to finish. Any other thoughts tonight?
I'm really liking the beta. It's very interesting. I like the objectives. I don't know about combining objectives with Forge the Crystal, just because it feels like every time you're just searching, okay, now I got to search every single boss spot for Dr. Lugay in this case.
Yeah, I'm with you on that front. I much prefer boss location objectives rather than actual boss. 1 demist hunt is enough for me. Having to do 4 of them, well, 3 of them, I was perfectly happy to be on commentary tonight instead of doing another one of these.
I mean, I also don't. It also kind of threw me for a loop. It's like, oh, cool, demist. Oh wait, free item. That doesn't mean anything. But yeah, thank y'all so much for having me restreamed. Of course, Invenerable, Sonny, thank y'all so much for commentary. Smape D for doing restream, Tower Sheep doing tracking, and Scala, I hate. No, I absolutely love Scala, and this seed was a lot of fun. It's just never do a Penguinator special. It's always bit me in the butt. And
this just means that all your seeds are now going to be blessed by Scala Kitty. Like, even if she's not rolling them, she's coming after you. You better watch out.
I will take my seeds being blessed by Scala Kitty, because then when I have to race in tournaments eventually, I will be prepared.
That's true. It's at least good practice.
But yeah, thank y'all so much for having me. I'm going to go because I am starving.
That sounds like a good idea to me. Thanks again for submitting yourself out here as one of the restreamees, and enjoy your 4th meal. Well, Sonny, I'm hungry as well. How about you?
I could go for some food myself. I mean, this seed definitely made me hungry after watching everybody have to run all around the moon, the underground, and the overworld itself.
Absolutely. Oh goodness. Well, again, everyone still hanging out in chat. Make sure you give our runners a follow. If you're really kind, give us here in the commentary booth and the restream team a follow. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Free Enterprise channel for another community race with a different flag set. In the meantime, I think we're sending you over to Desert Bus for Hope and a charity marathon ongoing. Sonny, any final words, my friend?
Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this Scala Kitty special.
Good night, everyone. See y'all next week.